Thank you for inviting me. My name is Mpule Kgetsi. I'm from Botswana, and I'm also the African Union Youth Ambassador for Peace, representing Southern Africa. And my main role is on championing the youth peace and security agenda in Africa, particularly Southern Africa.
Yes, man. Well, before we get into the nitty-gritties, I'd just like to thank you for joining us. I'd just like to receive more of your references regarding the event that we have today.
Okay. We are at the 3rd Annual Symposium on African Studies. We are discussing the African Union, basically, alongside the theme of the year, which is around reparations and justice for people of African descent. We're discussing the re-scramble for Africa and everything around that. So basically, my presence here today is to ensure that the voices of young people are present, because we have often discussed about how young people are left behind, how there is no mainstreaming of young people, especially within institutions. Therefore, they lack that legitimacy. There's no participation that is required for young people, or for development to take place, or for change to take place with the presence of young people. So my presence here today is to ensure that young people are at the table. We have been invited to the table, and I will be the voice of these during the symposium.
I see. So I see you had emphasized on the importance of including young people with the development of our country. This does stem with my first question. What role should the youth play in advancing reparations and resource sovereignty?
One role shouldn't the youth play. Youth should be there at every step of the way, because when you are talking about the current issues that Africa is facing, majority of it are faced by young people. Young people are have that demographic weight. We are majority of the population, over 60%, I think. I think the new statistics by the African Union Youth Division show that it's around 400 million young people right now. So if you are talking issues like unemployment, joblessness, radicalization, declining economic activities, conflict even, those issues affect mostly young people. So if you are at any event or any table where you are discussing any resolutions around addressing those issues, then the people that are most affected should be the ones that are at the forefront. So when you're talking about participation should not just be young people attending meetings or young people being invited to come and sit somewhere in the background. It should be them being part of the strategy discussions. Right now, we're talking about Agenda 2063. Its reform, its revision should be led by young people, because they are the ones that are going to be there in 2063, not some of the old people that we see now.
I see. How do we ensure that young Africans inherit a self-determined and equitable continent?
Inheritance suggests that there's somebody who has something and they need to relinquish it for the young people. Right now, what we are seeing with our leaders is that they are not relinquishing anything. They're not relinquishing power. They're not relinquishing access. They're not relinquishing opportunities for young people. So in order for people to be able to inherit anything, then it's the people that are currently in power that need to enable that inheritance by relinquishing it to young people, by enabling young people to be the ones that take the lead. Think of it as passing the baton, during a race, during a relay. You run your leg, you give it to the next person so that they can also do their part. So our leaders right now need to do exactly that. What they are trying to do is they are trying to run the entire race all on their own, and they are tired. They've gotten tired, they're getting tired, and still won't give up to allow newer, fresher, more energetic people that still have that energy to carry on, move forward, take up leadership positions, move their countries forward to be the ones that take up those leadership positions. So I think talking about inheritance, if you want young people to participate, they need to be given those opportunities.
I see that. Before I proceed with the next question, I'd just like to emphasize on China's Industrial Revolution in comparison to ours in particular. The different things that they somewhat advance in comparison to our country is advanced telecommunications, breakthrough in AI, and quantum computing. and massive investments in solar energy infrastructure. My question follows. What can Africa learn from China's investment in youth education and industrial innovation?
One of the things that I can say with examples like China is that they constantly work towards meeting the growing or the emerging demands or the needs of their people. And that's something that I think we can learn from them. Our different systems, our governmental systems, education systems particularly, need to also advance and progress so that they meet the current needs or the current progressing needs of young people. If you look at our education systems now, most of us in Africa, you see that it was curriculums that were developed, during colonial times or just after. And most of them have not managed to move beyond that to address the needs of young people or to equip young people with the skills that they need for them to be able to meet the current needs and the current demands. For instance, if you're talking about things like AI, AI as a threat, AI as an emerging domain of conflict, issues around cyberbullying, no one prepared us for that. We had to learn on the go. So one of the things that our education systems should be doing is now meeting these demands, making sure that we educate the next generation to be able to identify these threats and know how to tackle them, and so on and so forth.